Hey world, my name is Sheila and I go by the Curveur Stitcher here on YouTube, over on Instagram, and I have an Etsy shop that I sell project bags and it's called She's So Sassy. That's will all be linked down below. So today is a WIP parade. It's kind of the mid-year, I'm a few weeks late WIP parade because I just am late. So let's just get started. Well, actually, because WIP Parade does bring in like newbies sometimes, like people that have never seen me, they're like, well, who's this lady? What's she doing? What's a WIP Parade? So it's cross stitch. It's all my works in progress that I have accumulated over the last 9-10 months. I just started cross stitching in November of last year, so everything is been started within a year, so nothing's really like an old WIP. There are some that I started kind of November, December-ish that are still lingering, that will probably maybe still be around December, because a lot of my projects are really big. I have a lot of really big, over 200 by 200. I'll throw smalls in there too to try to get some little projects just done, that satisfaction of having something done and put on your wall or made into a pillow. But a lot of mine are big, so they're going to take a while, and I'm okay with that. It's like I'll get bored with something and I'll just be like, oh, I haven't done this one for a while, and it's like new and exciting and fun again because you haven't laid eyes on it for a while and you're excited to do it, and it's just like, yeah, like a shiny new penny. So, and I think so many of us that have a lot of works in progress, we chase that shiny new penny feeling all the time, that dopamine, adrenaline rush of the fun and newness. But there is something to be said about going back to an old project that you've been working on for a long time and you become friends with it and have this rapport with this project. Some of it may had really bad arguments with it because you've messed up and you've ripped stuff out, and you might not be on best terms at the moment with some of them, but then you, like a lot of good friendships, you try to work through your differences and get back on track and start falling in love with some of these projects again. So, all right. Yeah, that's just a little bit about me. Okay, so we'll start. No particular order. I just ironed them all and got everything ready. And so if there's anything in particular that I want to mention about them, I'll just bring them up on the fly. So the first one I'm working on, that I'm pulling out right now, and this one actually is a goal of mine to finish this August. Right now it's like the middle of August, actually August 15th, so exactly the middle. So I have like 2 more weeks to finish this guy because I want to display it for September. So that's kind of going to be a goal, and I think I can get it done. I'm more than halfway. So yeah, I could whip it out in another couple weeks, so I say. So this is Prairie Schooler and it's September. And I am doing this on, oh shoot, it's the same one I did my January finish on. It's like, I think it's a Witchelt. It's actually the called for, actually. So let me look, see. Let's see what it says for what they call for it. Oh, lamb's wool. They call for 32 count lamb's wool, and this is 40 count because I have it, this size to fit into this calendar thingy. So I'm going to be doing all the months. I finished January and I am working on September. So 40 count lamb's wool, and that is where I'm at so far. So I have like some of the deer, or all the deer, some of the tree in the bottom. So you know, not a whole lot. That should be able to whip it out in the next 2 weeks. So that is that. And then, you know, October, I'll start October and November, and I'll probably end up starting all of them in the month that is coming up or that we're in. Just have them all going, and then, you know, whenever I mean, I would love to have them all done ASAP, but it's not. It might be a year and a half progress to get them all done. All right, so we'll just set that there. And the next one is a Mill Hill, and it's called they're the series Button and Beads. All of them have like a little button that you put on, and then it's the floss and beads. And this one is called Ravens. Yeah, Ravens. I'm sitting backwards. Usually I'm on this side and I can see easier. Yeah, I'll hold it that way. All right. Ravens. This one I have not worked on much. And oh, I got one of these little fun magnetic frames to hold the perforated paper. It comes on perforated paper that in these kits. You could change it out and use like, you know, any type of fabric you want. You could do Aida or linen, but because it comes with the perforated paper and the beads, it just fits well, and like I'm not going to waste what's there unless I really want to do something different. So that is where I'm at so far. So with the Mill Hill, I think you do all the floss and then save the beads till last. So yeah, I'll just have, I don't know, quite a bit, because it's almost full coverage. I think it's pretty much full coverage all the way around. So you won't see any of this at all. It'll just be filled in. And yeah, these magnetic frames work really great, because before I just had this paper, perforated paper, sitting in my project bag. And if I don't set my project bag up perfectly in a row, you know, some of them get bent over when you're putting them back, and this paper was starting to get just a little misshapen. So these work great. It's just if you haven't seen them, they have magnets, and you just put it in there, and it clips shut and holds it in there really good. And because the button and beads, I think they're, what are they, 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. And so if you go on Etsy, you can get the exact size that this will fit perfectly. And I don't remember, I think on Etsy they use centimeters. So I'm not sure if this even says what centimeters is, but you'll figure it out. Oh yeah, 13.3 centimeters. So if you get like I think maybe this might be 14 centimeter square frame, and it fits in there good. So I can, if I remember, I'll link the different Etsy shops. There's different ones. It comes from Ukraine. So it took a couple weeks to come, but not very long, you know, from coming halfway around the world. So like 2 weeks. So that works out great. And then, I mean, you could actually just leave it in this fun frame too, and, you know, mount it if you wanted to buy a bunch of these, because it's a kind of fun decorative, but then you just use it for your next button bead thingy. All right. Next guy is, it's the Satsuma Street. It's called Monster House Mystery Sal. So I don't have a full picture of what it looks like, because every 2 weeks comes out a new the new month, or every 2 weeks it comes out with a new little section. I think there's 6 sections, and we are in the 3rd section. So the first one was this middle one, and then this was the 2nd, and then the 3rd. So I'm not completely caught up. The next section I think comes out in a week, so I have another week to get completely caught up. But my Joann's has not, in the last 3-4 weeks, 6 weeks actually, because it's been 6 weeks that we've done this. It's come out every 2 weeks, I believe. They have not had this one color floss. I think a darker or lighter teal. And every week I go to Joann's and it's not in, it's not in. I'm gonna have to either get it from somewhere else, or maybe I should ask them. Maybe their account is off in their computer, so they think they have it on the shelf and they're not getting more inventory in, and I might have to bring that up. So I'm behind on some of it because I don't have the exact floss color that I'm waiting on. So yeah, that's coming along fun. This is on 14 count Aida that I hand dyed myself. It was just, I think, a white, yeah, it was a white Aida, plain old Aida. And I used a couple different colors. You can kind of see there's like a pinky and green. I used, I think, like taupe and a brown and a little bit of a pink. And some of it, I think the combo, I didn't use any green, I don't believe, but the pink and the taupe or something turned, there's some greenish in there, which I think is kind of, it's just fun. It works out good. So that's nice, warm, and it's got enough depth and darkness so you could see the whites, because these are supposed to be little ghosts that are gonna have to get eyeballs and stuff that I haven't finished yet. So you could, the mystery salad said basically any color fabric you wanted other than white and black, because there's a lot of white and black in here, so that wouldn't pop out. But you could use, like, so many people use the fun purples, or you could do a lot, gold, or even orangey-ish. So yeah, that's been fun. I love, every couple weeks the new one comes out. It keeps me motivated to stay on top of it. I'm only doing 2 sals right now, and sal means stitch along. So they start a project, and then they release like a section that you stitch with everybody else at the same time, and then they keep doing it. So I'm only doing 2, and I think 2 is my max. Anything more than that, I don't think I'd be able to keep up on to do it along with all the other things I want to do. So the next WIP work I have is Hands Across the Sea, and this is called Margaret Beattie. I don't know for sure. What is it? Beattie. Beattie. Margaret Beattie. I'll say Beattie. And this, you can get the hard copy, but I purchased this one on the Hands Across the Sea website, and you can get their download, so you can use it on your iPad, or if you're in, if you have any like programs, markup, then it's there. So and I'm so torn because I love working on my my iPad to be able to cross things out and like zoom in if you really want to, like, a real dense area that has a lot of color change and you don't want to get lost. You can scratch it off good, not scratch it off, but like mark off good that you've done it, but then you can zoom in really easily and see all the different symbols. So it's so much easier than paper copy for me, because paper copy, you can't just quick zoom in on something, zoom out and move it around. You could print like more zoomed in scale off your computer, but then off your printer, but then you have all this paper and it just gets too much. So I love the the download PDFs, but I also love having a copy that I could resell for somebody or give away to somebody, like a physical copy. And I don't think we could do that for PDFs. I don't think we could say, here's our PDF and you can have this PDF, right? I don't think that's like kosher or allowed, which is weird because you bought it, so you should be able to share it with one person, after you've stitched it, but I don't think you can. So that's the only thing that I'm not a fan about, because it's like one and done, and then that money, you can't either recoup it or somebody else can't benefit. So I don't know, I'm torn, but because also you want the designer to be able to have money too because they work hard at their design. So I don't know. What do you guys prefer? Hard copy because you can resell it or give it to a friend, or PDFs just because the ease of the PDF and the quickness and the less paper that's wasted in the world, and that is also plays a role, and just storage, because I have this small little sewing room that's like the walls are coming in because I have so much stuff. So more physical stuff stresses me out as well too. So, and yeah, I don't know. I just ramble. Anyhow, let's see where I'm at on this bad boy. And this I am using you'll notice that, or I've talked about if you've been here before, but if you're new, this fabric is from Joann Fabrics, and it's a linen apparel that you can use for clothing, and it works really good for cross stitch. So and it's inexpensive. You can use your coupon, you can dye it, and it comes in different colors as well. I think maybe a handful of different colors. And this one is just natural. It's just kind of the off-white. They don't have a bright white. This is as white as it comes. And so it's kind of a creamy color. And this is it. And it's about a 40 count. And there it is. I am just about ready to work on the girl and the bunny. I have gotten, is gotten a word? I have got to, I am to this point. Sometimes when you're like saying words, they don't sound right. Or like you guys, when you're writing out like something like a note or a journal, and you write a word and the word looks wrong, but it's right, but you're kind of like, is that how it's spelled? And you're like, W-H-E-N, when? Yeah, that's right. But you start second guessing yourself. That's how it is when you start speaking on camera and you know that you have this audience that's listening to you. You don't want to sound like an idiot and use the wrong word. Like one of the words, this is a huge pet peeve of mine, and in all the videos I watch, it's a word that I hear often, and when I hear it said wrong, I'm just like nails on a chalkboard, and it's the word across. So many people will say across and put a T at the end, and I'm just like, no, there's no T at the end. So we all have those little weird, pet peeves of ours. There's two of mine for you that you guys can razz me about. Be like, not a big deal, but across. Oh. So yeah, all I'd have to do down here and then go across there and then fill in the bunny, and yeah, it's getting there. I love the colors in this. It's all DMC. Pretty much everything so far that I've been showing, everything so far is DMC. And I will say if I use something different, but I use DMC a lot. It's easy to get, and it's inexpensive, and they're beautiful colors. So I love the fun colors too, of the hand dyed with the variegations. So that's fun as well. But DMC is trusted and tried and true. All right, there's that. And if you guys have any questions about any of these projects that I didn't elaborate on or something, go ahead, leave me a comment, and I will hopefully answer it for you. All right, the next one is from Reflet de Soie. I think that's how you say it. It's French, obviously. And I found out I love French samplers. There's so many out there that I'm like, ooh, that one's pretty. And then I'm like, oh, that's French looking. So I love just that, a lot of the ornate and curves, and yeah, Quakers are fun too, but I like the softer curviness and the fluttery and softness. I don't know. I guess I lean more that way in my design choice in my home and my clothing than I do with really geometric, modern, harsh lines. So like this sweater, this tank top, for example. It's soft and fluttery, and you know, these are, you know, curves, and yeah, I guess I'm finding that out about myself. And this one is called uh ugh, French, but it's anais, curveur, and that's what it's called. And beautiful. Love the colors on that. And this one I am doing it on, this is called Lightly Salted Not Roasted by Stitch Me, BSM, no, BSM. Yes, Stitch Me, right? I don't know a lot of the fabrics. I'm learning a lot. I mean, I've been at this less than a year, and there's a lot to take in and a lot to remember. And so if I say something wrong, just give me a little grace. I'm learning. We're all learning. But here it is. You can see the beautiful modeling. It's a really warm, peachy color fabric. It goes really well with the lavender. And there is lavender and purples in here. All kinds of fun colors. This border is just so fun. A lot of color changes. I mean, it's tiddly, piddly, tedious changing, but it's just gives such a beautiful effect, and gorgeous. Love this one. This one just, whenever I start working on it, I don't want to put it down. That was the one that I'm just like, ooh, and I will spend probably 4 or 5 days in a row on this one and not get bored. I have to force myself to you know, move on and do something else. And yeah, the next one, which I love as well, is this is Echoes of a Garden Past by oh shoot, oh no, it's on the tip of my tongue. I will have to write it down in the description box. It's off Etsy. You can download it. I think you can get the hard copy as well too. Oh, dang it. If it comes to me as I'm saying this. It'll be down in the description box. I'm sorry. Usually I'm like really good at remembering, and I just had a total, I can't remember. Oh, Mojo Stitches. Hello, there it is. Mojo Stitches, Echoes of a Garden Past. Ooh, it's getting so big that it's taking up almost my whole screen. And this one is on a 36 count. Let me look really quickly. Mellow Stone by Atomic Ranch Fabrics. So fun. Love this one as well. And it's getting there. I mean, that bottom, there's a lot of fill in there. And that was kind of my goal, to work and get a lot of that filled in and then start moving up. And this one is so fun because, yeah, there's a lot of fill in down there, but all these different motifs, they're all different. I don't think there's any that repeat themselves at all. No, not a one. They are all different. The clouds, you know, are the same up there, but all the motifs are just fun and different. And yeah, so I'll working my way over to the bottom that way, and then I'll just start kind of working up, and I'm saving the lady for last, I think. I keep saying that, but every time I pull it out, I'm like, ooh, I want to work on the lady. But nope, she's going to be one of the last things I do. And this one is just one thread over 2 on 36 count, all DMC. All right, next one is one of my oldest WIPs. I know that because I started it last Christmas, or last December, November, December, in that time. So this one has been around for a while, and slowly but surely getting done. And it is Cottage Garden samplings. It's called It's Snow Time, and this is #1. They all have the series, like I think they do a series of like 8 or so of different snowmen, and now, you know, they're doing the houses right now, and this is the first one in the series. Really pretty. I went a totally different color fabric. I am doing this on Aida. When I first started out, I didn't have access to much linen and learning, and so I just started Aida, and I still love Aida. Aida is fun, especially when you want to take it on the go and you don't need magnifying, and it's much easier to see. And other than it's, you know, like the 14 count, I think this is 14 count. Yeah, it looks big, like a 14 count. You know, you two threads, so it's a little more cumbersome, eats up a little bit more floss, but it gives a nice thick plump look. You could even do 3 on 14 count, but 2 to me seems sufficient enough. And this is Aida from Hobby Lobby. It's called Steel Blue. Yes, Steel Blue. It works, makes the snowman pop. And I love all the other colors on it, except this gold and this blue. I'm not the biggest fan of the combo. Like that gold and that blue, fine. This one just, something about it doesn't mesh as well in my brain. But I think once we get more of the snowman in, well, there's more of the scarf too, but it's fine. It's still pretty. So I like the fact that the white snowflakes and the white border pop so much more than on like a real light fabric like this. You do all that hard work, and when some of the stitches don't show up, like a lot of the stitches wouldn't show up because it's going to be, you know, snowflakes all around and the border, then you're like, well, why did I do all that work and you can't even see it? So, all right, the next one is Barbara Anna Designs, and this is called All Creatures Great and Small. And this is a big one as well. How big is this one? I don't know. Big. I'm so helpful sometimes, huh? And this is on Vintage Country Mocha, and they're 40 count. This one's 40 count. And I do have a hanging thread here. I don't leave hanging threads on most things because sometimes I'm like, oh, where was that? What color thread was that? Like if there's a lot of confetti, but you know, I know this is the little person, so it's easy, but. And there I am. I feel like I've worked a lot on this, but I don't feel like that's gotten very far. I've pulled this out quite a bit. Well, one, every time I pull it out and work a little bit on the inside, I hit the border up too, because I don't want to do the whole border at once, and I don't want to save it for the last. So I'm just like, it's like eating your healthy food before dessert. You know, it's like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Balance things out. Even though I don't eat desserts anymore. I don't get desserts in my life anymore. Gave up sugar. No sugar in my life. But you know what? Even though I miss sugar and I miss sweets and love candy and cookies and baked goods, I like how I feel without it so much more. Like, you gotta weigh out the pros and cons in life, and I feel better not eating sugar than I do when I eat it. So, yeah. There it is. Love that one. And I mean, it's going to take a while, and I'm in no hurry to finish this one. It'll look great on my walls eventually. But it I enjoy pulling it out and working on a little section and putting it away. And then, you know, months down the road, you pull it out again, you look at it, you're like, whoa, look how far I've gotten. Gotten is a word. All right. Heartstring Samplery. Never Let You Go. This one I started for my wedding anniversary. That was in June. And my goal is just to have it done by next June so I can start another one next year. I think that's be fun. Just every anniversary have a little something something to remember us by. This was the 27th wedding anniversary. I know I'm only 20 years old. How could I be married for 27 years? It's a miracle. All right. Never let you go. Oh, the reason I picked this one this time around is because we live on a farm and we live in a little brick red house and we have little animals and I will never let them go. I am doing this on 40 count. Meadow Brew by Lakeside Linen. I realized the LL on the abbreviation was Lakeside Linen. Kim, the contented needleworker, wrote it down in the my thing, and she's like, "Oh, it's her favorite." So I was like, "Oh, fun." And here I am. I do have a hanging thread there, so just ignore that little pile of thread there. I'll put it off to the side. Pretend it's not there. So this one's fun. The border is just fun, and you know, once you get into the groove, you don't even have to look at it. You just, you know, keep on, you know exactly what it is. Other than every once in a while, I look to make sure they didn't add like an extra thing. Like up here, there's one weird one when you're coming around the corner. It's not exactly the way it has been. So you want to pay attention or else you'll end up being wrong. But I think for the most part, it's pretty much just the same. And yeah, just working my way down a little bit and then go inside and a little bit inside. I really want to get down to the bottom because there's a lot of fill-in the grass down there. So I think I might be working my way down one of the sides, finish the border out so I know exactly the dimensions, and then start working my bottom and up so then we meet in the middle somewhere. That's kind of my goal. Love the color of this fabric, the modeling. It's so pretty. It's got like almost purplish. You can see kind of that purpley. It's like a warm purple though, not too cool. It's really a pretty fabric. I see why it's Kim's favorite. Got good taste, Kim. Next one is the Blue Flower Tutor Bee. And I started this a while ago too. And my goal was to get it done for summer. Well, we're fast approaching fall. Well, technically fall doesn't start till September, 20th or somewhere in there, 21st. So I have a whole nother month to whip this bad boy out to be done in summer. But yeah, because a bee, it's just summerish. Even though the bees go into the fall, like especially those hornets, the little yellow jackets, they come out around this time of year. You can't have a picnic outside because they'll just infiltrate and ruin your day. Blue Flower Tutor Bee. This one I am doing on, I love that my place that I used to go to puts it here. Fiber on a Whim, and it's called Morganite. It has just a hint of pink. It's really hard to see it, you know, unless you put it up to, you know, white, but it's just got a hint of pink. Oh, I don't want to lose that. Put that in there. And really no modeling. It's just like a full color, just slightly baby pink. And there I am. It's going to be small. It's just, yeah, because it's 40 count. It's just going to be a small little pillow. Really small. Was it meant to be this small? Yeah, 40 count on fennel seed from Coloring Cotton. So yeah, it's just a small little tiny pillow, which is cute. It doesn't take up a whole lot of room. So I don't have a whole lot. Just work around here and a little bit in there. I should be able to, I mean, if I worked on it, I'd have it done in, you know, a couple weeks. So, and then I have a lot of fabric left over for some more small pillows. So be able to cut that down. It's fun. You know, did I have that backwards? No, I showed you the right side up. Yeah. I like the Blue Flower. She's got a lot of beautiful things. All right, the next one is B is for Bunny from La Di Da. This was one of the first ones I bought a long time ago because I am a sucker for bunnies, bunnies, and I don't have it done, which surprises me. Get on it, Sheila. This is on 36 count winter moon. Yeah, winter moon. And it's just, I think Eden. It says Eden. So it's just kind of a really plain, not plain, but natural fabric. And I ended up getting like a little stain over there, but won't show in the frame. So the border is just about done. A lot of fill-in for the rabbit. And there's a lot of like, it's not just plain fill-in. You could see there's a lot of like a design in his thing. So you gotta really pay attention. It looks like a really easy, but I've messed up on this. And actually I think his ears I have messed up on, and I'm not pulling out that. They're gonna work. They're fine. But there is a miscount in his ears somewhere. But I think his body meets up fine. But yeah, because I went around and then it came up and I'm like, I'm off. And not enough to show anything that's really wrong with his ears. They look normal. And I just have to start working on it. Yeah, I haven't pulled it out for quite a while. I touched all of these WIPs in the last month other than 2. Yeah, 2 I didn't touch. No, 3. This one also I didn't touch, which is, oopsie, don't fall down. On Brooke's Books website, she has all the 25 days ornaments, or make little things like 25 days of Christmas. There's a little animal for each of the day, and I have done 3, and this is my 4th one. And this one is called, Sheila Sheep. Sheila Sheep. This is on Ada that I hand dyed, kind of a pinky color, and I love red and pink together, so it looks great. But yeah, Sheila Sheep. She knits. She's a little knitting sheep, which I don't have the picture of. But yeah, if you go to Brooke's Books, it's free download. She's got other free downloads. It's very generous. Next one is, this is called, it's from Nora Corbett, and it's called Halloween Fairy. I got it off Hirschners.com. You can download it, and so just printed it up. And this one needs to get done before Halloween. I want to put it up for Halloween, and I think it should, well, no, it will be done by then. Other than I haven't really done a ton of beading, I did one little Mill Hill bead ornament, and so hopefully the beading isn't as time consuming. Hopefully it's not as time consuming and that's in my head or whatever. But this is on Atomic Ranch Fabrics Cobblestone, 32 count. And she's so much fun. So she's just about done. I've got just a little bit of the pumpkin to do, and then a lot of these little swirlies around here, and then yeah, just some swirlies, and then the beading. And so it's getting there. And it's 2 strands over 2 on 32 count. And the 32 count is because of the beads. You're supposed to use that count to be able to fit all the beads in there. And actually, I really like 32 count. It's fun. And the 2 strands lay really nice Like my stitches look really good with 2 strands on here. It works well. So that one should be done by Halloween. Well, by October, because I want to hang it up for October. The next one is another Hands Across the Sea. Anne Thomas, 1854. This is another big girl. And love working on this one. This is on Fox and Rabbit Up in the Attic. Yes. It's going to be big. Such a pretty color. And show my stitches up close. The white just pops so nicely on this. I love Up in the Attic. I'm working on another project with Up in the Attic. Such a pretty color. Yeah, really pretty. This is 40 count, so 1/2, other than the writing is 1/1. And there's quite a bit of writing across the top. A lot of little words up there, so that takes time. So I'll do something fun and then I'll kick out a few words. And I think, I know, so this is all in DMC, and I probably should have got like a finer silk or something to do the 1/1, because it is, I'm doing full crosses and it is like thick. It looks fine, but it gets a little thick in there. So I think next time if I do 1/1 full crosses, probably get like a finer silk to use, so it's not so bulky. All right, next one up is Map of Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. Another fun one. This one, when I pull out too, I don't want to put it away. And it's got so much in there. And everything is, each time you move to a new section, it's fun and exciting and new. And there's a lot of like fill in, which is great when you don't want to have to think. Like this, I think this must be a river. A lot of fill in there, and this green here. I'm doing this one on 36 count and Fiber on a Whim Dunes, and I love this fabric. I could see myself doing a lot more on this Dunes. Love the warmth, and it's almost got a green cast to it too, and I love green. I didn't realize how much I love green till I became an adult, but yeah, so fun. That hawk is fun. And I'm only doing 1 strand over 2 because there's so much fill in that sometimes 2/2 on 36 count gets a little tight for me. And depending on the fabric, some weaves are a little tighter if they're hand dyed. And I've noticed I'm doing one that's 2/2, and it's pretty, but anytime there's a really dense section, it gets a little claustrophobic in there. So the 1/2 works really good. It just depends on the look you're going. If you really like that thick, plumpy look, then do 2. But if that doesn't, float your boat, then you could do 1. This was my leap year start. So I just have a goal of finishing it by leap year in 3.5 years from now. So that should be plenty of time, right? The next one is a Teresa Kogut Beauty Fades. And this is a fun little band sampler. Working these little bands. I know that terminology now. And Beauty Fades. This I'm doing on, this is my smallest count. This is 46 count. And it is, oh shoot, which one is this one called? Oh, it is the called for on here, which is, let me look quickly for you, Mocha by Weeks Dye Works. But the 30, I think the 36 count looks different, a little lighter. The 40, or even the 40 count. This is the 46 count, and it's pretty dark. Like, it seemed a little darker than the higher, the lower count, but it's pretty. There's some white in here that'll really pop out, but the yellows, you know, kind of, well, I mean, you could see them in person. They don't show up on camera as well, but they show up just fine in person when you're looking at it. But I think if it was just a tad lighter, it would have shown up better. But there's a lot of, well, not a lot of white, but the house is white. Her skin is like lighter, and but everything, it's fine. But I almost feel like this fabric could have been tiny lighter, like more of a up in the attic lightness. I could show you the difference. So there's up in attic, there's that. It's pretty dark, but it's pretty. And maybe that's the look that they're going for, more the antique-y faded out, like not everything has to pop. It'll be fine once it's all on there. All right, another Teresa Kogut. This is, I'm in her Patreon, and this was for the December of last year. So this has been around since December. And like when it's snow and cold, and like, I don't want to work on a lot of Christmassy stuff in summer. I'm seeing them, it's kind of seasonal where I want to work in the season. I mean, there's some things that will work out of season, but being a Minnesotan, as if you couldn't figure that out from my accent, Minnesota, that we have so much winter. Like, it is winter from basically the end of October till the beginning of April. It's like winter. There's snow on the ground, and you just get to a point where you're like, if I have to look at snow and cold for 2 more minutes, I want to puke. So I don't want to pull out much for like Christmas in July, because I want to savor summer and warmth here in Minnesota as long as I can, because it's so short. I could see people who maybe live in Florida where you don't ever get snow, and so that the trauma of snow doesn't affect you like seeing snow for me is trauma. Some years it's just like, oh, you know, feet of snow and plowing and shoveling, and your car is stuck, and you got booger ice cubes hanging from your nose because it's so cold, and you, oh yeah. Maybe I just should move to Florida, and then I will appreciate the cold and the snow. So here we are. This is on Aida, and it's kind of just a creamy Aida, which the snowman does not pop very good. You could see it more in person, but on camera, it's hard to see him. And then his arm over here, the white, I think it's B5200 or something, but it I don't know if it got picked up a little pinky from there, but his white arm has got a pink hue to it, which it's not that big a deal. This isn't like a heirloomy type thing. This might end up making into like a project bag or something. But I think once it's all said and done, I'll probably backstitch the snowman just in, you know, a black or a gray or something, just to make him pop a little bit better and show up. Yeah, so yeah, it's a cute little design. Warm and cozy. May your winter be warm and cozy. Yeah, ours is not warm and cozy unless you're inside under blankets. As you can tell, I'm still bitter for snow. Yeah. I know we're not going to retire here. I just, yeah, once my daughter's graduated from high school, if she moves to a different state, we're not staying. Most of my family's long gone and dead, and you know, I have my couple siblings, but yeah, ugh, I'm not a fan of Minnesota weather. Okay, next one I got off Etsy, and it is called Pumpkin and Raven. Oh no, I don't have the designer on here. Some Gothic Spirits, something. I'll put it her Etsy shop down below. Something like that. A fun raven and that pumpkin, and it's a cool design. It's like melty down there. Yeah, it's just fun. This I have not. I think I worked on it for a few days and I put it away because I didn't know if I loved the fabric color choice with all the orange pumpkin. But I'm going to just keep on doing a little bit more because there's going to be some dark parts of the pumpkin that will pop more. Hopefully. So you can see that a lot of this is blending in right here. I mean, you can see it in person, but yeah, so I have not pulled it out because I'm just on the fence if I want to continue on this fabric or not. But I think I'm going to give it a little bit more. I'm probably pull out some of the darker part of the pumpkin because where am I? There's his feet. So yeah, I'm in kind of a light area of the pumpkin, and then you can see the outline right there gets a lot darker and a lot darker out along through here. So I think in the big scheme of things it's going to be fine, but right now the part that I picked, I'm like, oh, it's just blending in, but I think it'll be fine. Obviously, I mean, the whole raven is going to pop, and all this like drippy stuff's going to pop great. More so than on like this dark fabric, like that they have the background. But, you know, like a purple would have been really cool on here. Or a lighter gray with some darker gray modeling. But I think I'll just continue, see how it goes. It'll probably end up being fine with the darker colors. And I did a floss toss on here, and I mean, so much of it just pops, and there's like 50, there are 50 colors in this pumpkin and raven, so there's going to be a ton of dimension, and it's going to look good. I do believe. So this is the Joanne fabric, and this was in, the base was gold, so you can buy it just kind of a base gold color, and then I hand dyed it, so give some modeling. I think I used like taupe and brown and maybe a little bit of gray in there. I don't remember what I used, but I just usually throw a little of this and a little splash of that and see what happens. And if it doesn't look right, then I wet it back down in there and some more color and see what you get. That's what's fun about dyeing fabric. And especially if you just buy some of the Joanne stuff that's cheaper. It's like, I think regular price it's like $14.99 a yard. No, $12.99 a yard. And then you use your coupon. Gotta use your coupon. And so say $7 for a whole yard of fabric, and you can cut that up into smaller, sections and practice dyeing things. And if you don't love it, you're not out a ton of money if you were to get like a really nice piece of linen. So you could practice on that stuff. Next one is Heartstring Samplery, and this is called the Scenic Sampler. And I am doing it on Fabrics by Stephanie Colonial Parchment, and this is 40 count. Love this fabric too. That modeling is so pretty. You can see back there. And there it is. working on the border down, filling in the house. And then I'll work down and fill in the grass. A lot of filling in the grass down there. So it's a dense little, it's not a huge sampler by any means. It's medium. I don't even know the size. Maybe 190 by 190-ish, somewhere in the, I don't know, don't quote me, but right around the 200 mark, I think. So not a monster, but there's a lot of dense stitching in some of that area. I think when you, well, no, it's pretty good stitching. That one's been fun. I like the little floral border all the way around. And I'm excited. Well, I'm excited to see the look of the willow, but I'm not excited to count it. Like there's, looks like a lot of counting in there. Make sure you don't mess up. It's fun though. Like firework fountains. All right, next one is Whimsical Village number 8. I got this off of Etsy, and it's from Tam Stitch Designs, T-A-M Stitch Designs. And love the folk art, whimsical, and the colors. So pretty, so fun. This one will go in my bedroom. I have like a folk arty, fun bedroom. And this is on Aida because it's full coverage. It's just a white Aida. And I believe this one's 18 count. It's small. Yeah, it's not 14. I think it's 16 or 18 count Aida. So I'm only doing, is it just one strand of floss, I believe? Yeah. You can see I do some caring back there because it just gets covered up. So yeah, it's only one strand, so it must be, I think, 18 count Aida. It's looking good. It looks like it's something now. With full coverage, you start out and it's just like some blurry little blobs, and then keep on working, and next thing you know, you're like, oh, there's a tree. Oh, there's the house starting with the, or that one is a church with a steeple, but yeah. That one's fun. I love the bright colors in there. Love that one. All right. Next one is, oh, and I forgot to write down. This one I also got off of Etsy. I got it last year around Christmas time, and I don't remember. I will write down what website. I think it's like Box and something. I want to say Box and Rabbit, a lot like Fox and Rabbit, but Box is in, you know, Beta, Bravo. I'll put it down there, but it's off Etsy. It's a fun, I love the colors in this one, and I love the kind of Art Deco vibe. It feels very, yeah, Art Deco-y. And the colors, oops, got a hair. That's not my hair, that's a long hair. It must be my daughter. Okay, this is also on the Joann fabric, just the beigey, creamy Joann fabric. Yeah, very fun. DMC, the colors are just great. I love them. Love the pinks and the orange and the green, and it's not the typical Christmas palette, but it works. Because it says Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, it's like the perfect color combo for Christmas and New Year's. And pink. I love pink. So that pink is just, that's a pretty pink too. Pepto-Bismol-y pretty though. And this is just kind of a symmetry, or yeah, it's the symmetry. So basically you work on one side, you're going to be doing the other side, but that one's going to be fun. And I don't know if I'll make it into a pillow, or I think I actually will frame this one and have it up for Christmas and through New Year's. So because it's not the typical red and green, I think it could stay up till you know, middle of January, even though it says Merry Christmas. I usually take down my Christmas decorations middle of January-ish, after the first week of January. So, all right, next one, another Teresa Kogut. I have quite a few Teresa. I like Teresa, and I'm in her Patreon, and she's just has so many great designs. Love so many of them. This one is called Remember Me. And this is the one that I'm doing. It's a 36 count, and it is Mellow Stone. Oh, I'm doing something else on Mellow Stone, aren't I? Atomic Ranch Mellow Stone, 36 count, and this is 2/2. So this one is the more dense two strands of fabric over two strands of floss over 2 fabrics, threads. Is that how you say it? I think so. But there we are. And just working on filling in the house, working across. You know, often I do page by page, so I think I am doing this one kind of page by page. You can see what the hard break right there, hard break there, and now I'm working on this page and fill in. I do like a little bird and then work on the house and bounce around. I'm a bouncer. I like to bounce. Flutter like a little butterfly. Next one is another blue flower, Huckleberry Farm. And this one I started in January because this one I'm doing for my grandmama, remembering her. And this is on 40 count, fiber on a whim, kunzite. It's a pretty lavendery purple. Not as lavender as me, but a little lighter. In a way, I wish it was a little darker because like the white on this basket doesn't show up as great. But everything else is fine. You know, not everything has to just pop. So I worked on her, yeah, just a little bit. Got the lady done. And yeah, I don't know if this will be done by January. Maybe by the end of January, if I work on it enough, I could get it done. My goal is kind of get it done by my grandma's by January. She was born and died in January, so it would be nice to have it done by then. And just, you know, then I can pick another relative that's passed on and work on something new from them. It's kind of nice to have a sampler or just something that I'm working on to remember somebody by. Because in that year, or every time I pull it out, I think of her and I, you know, like reminisce about things that happened or stories I've heard from her or about her. And so it's a nice way to reflect on the people who have gone. All right, last but not least, last one. I think I didn't count them offhand, but I think I have like 24-ish whips, somewhere in there, 24, 25. And this is the last one. And this is the other stitch along I'm doing by Teresa Kogut in her Patreon. And it's called Hometown. It comes out the 15th of every month. So today we should be getting a new installment. Is that the right word? Yep, the last installment over here to finish off this one. So this started in January. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July. No, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Or maybe it was somewhere in there. I don't know. Yeah, whatever January to August 15th is, that's how many we had. And I've stayed up to date every month by the 15th. It has been done. I think I worked on it like the 14th, you know, a month or two ago. I'm like midnight going into the 15th, finishing up. But by the time her next installment comes out, I've been caught up. And so that is my goal, is to stay caught up on this. So it is done. It's a 2-year sal. And so it's going to just be, it's as wide as it's going to be here, but then it's going to be long. So going down quite a bit. Yeah. So we're not even, we're what, a quarter way done? I don't know, math. But it's going to be fun. Lots of buildings. And it's just going to be just a fun, cute little sampler. Well, technically it's not a sampler. It's a sampler of homes. It's a house sampler. And that wraps up my WIP parade. 24 of them. I know when I first started, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to go over 10. And then I got to 10, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to go over 15. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to go over 20. No, okay, no, go over 25. It's like, it's kind of like the scale, you know, when you're pregnant, you're like, how much more can I go up? You know, but I was like 202 pounds when I gave birth to my daughter, and I was huge, and I'm only 5'6", so that's a lot. I gained over 50 pounds with her. Yeah, holy cow. But worth every pound she was worth. And when I was pregnant, all I wanted was like grease, like fried foods, and sugar. Just horrible. Like, that's all I wanted to eat. So, okay, more rambling. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope there were some things that you saw that you're like, oh, that would be fun. Or if you are stitching something that I'm stitching, leave me a comment and tell me that you're like, oh, I'm working on that, and how far you are, and what colors you chose. So it's so fun to hear about all your guys' projects as well. So take care, and I will see you next time. Happy stitching. Bye.